She stared into the mirror, searching for a version of herself she could love. Every detail of her face felt wrong. Every part of her seemed less than the women she saw online. Their smiles looked brighter, their lives more exciting, their confidence unshakable. Her heart carried a silent weight, a constant whisper that she wasn't enough. She tried harder each day, hoping that if she changed enough, she might finally belong. But deep inside, a quiet voice begged her to stop, to see the truth she had been avoiding. She didn't know it yet, but she was about to discover something that would end the comparisons forever, and nothing about her life would ever be the same. Her name was Emily, and for as long as she could remember, she had measured her worth against others. In school, she compared her grades to her classmates. At work, she compared her progress to her colleagues. On social media, she compared her life to strangers she had never met. Each comparison chipped away at her confidence, leaving her feeling invisible in her own story. She believed that if she worked harder, looked better, or achieved more, she would finally feel complete. Yet, the emptiness only grew. She didn't realize she was standing at the edge of a moment that would shatter her old beliefs and lead her to a truth that could change her life forever. Days began to feel like a silent battle Emily could never win. At work, she kept her head down during meetings, certain her ideas weren't worth hearing. She watched others speak with ease, their voices confident, their opinions valued. In the evenings, she stood in front of her closet, trying outfit after outfit, hoping the right one would make her feel enough. Social media only deepened the wound. Old classmates celebrating promotions, dream vacations, perfect relationships. Her chest tightened every time she scrolled, the same thought echoing in her mind. She was falling behind. Determined to fix herself, she made endless plans, new diets, skill courses, self-improvement challenges. But the harder she tried, the emptier she felt. Deep down, she feared the truth. Maybe no matter what she did, she would never feel as good as the people she compared herself to. One cold, rainy afternoon, Emily ducked into a small coffee shop to escape the wind. She sat in a corner, wrapping her hands around a warm cup, when an elderly woman asked if she could share the table. They began to talk, and before Emily realized it, she was admitting how lost she felt, how she never felt good enough. The woman listened without interrupting, her eyes calm yet piercing. Then she spoke softly. "You are living as if life is a race you must win, but no one else has your track. No one can run it for you, and you cannot run theirs." The words sank deep into Emily's heart. For the first time, she considered that her worth might not depend on being better than someone else. She didn't know it yet, but those words had just begun to rewrite her life. That night, Emily stood in front of the same mirror that had reflected her doubts for years. The rain still tapped against the window, but her mind was replaying the woman's words over and over. She studied her reflection, not searching for flaws this time, but trying to see what the stranger had seen. Her eyes softened as she remembered moments when she had been there for friends, the artwork she created but never showed, the quiet courage she had in facing life alone. These things weren't small, they were hers, and they were real. For the first time, she realized her life didn't need to be compared to anyone else's to have value. A tear slipped down her cheek, not from sadness, but from a deep relief she couldn't explain. Something inside her had shifted, and there was no going back. In the days that followed, Emily began making small but powerful changes. She no longer scrolled endlessly through social media, not because she hated it, but because she wanted to protect her peace. Each night, she wrote down 3 things she appreciated about herself, even if they seemed small. At work, she raised her hand in meetings, her voice trembling at first, but growing steadier with each word. She realized her happiness came not from winning some invisible competition, but from embracing her own journey. The need to measure her life against others slowly faded, replaced by gratitude for the path she was on. She started mornings by looking in the mirror and saying, "I am enough," and for the first time in years, she believed it. Comparison had stolen enough from her life, and she was finally ready to take it back. Emily's life didn't suddenly become perfect, but it became hers. She stopped chasing other people's dreams and started living her own. She learned that comparing herself was like trying to measure the ocean with a cup. It would never make sense. Every day, she walked forward with peace in her heart, knowing her worth was not defined by anyone else. The world around her hadn't changed, but the way she saw herself had. And whenever the old habit tried to return, she remembered the rainy afternoon and the stranger's words. From that day on, she never compared herself again.